Pipebomb Podcast here on YouTube. And unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard about it. CM Punk finally broke his silence on the whole WWE situation on Art of Wrestling Podcast with his boy Colt Cabana. And we're here to review it. Yes, a podcast reviewing another podcast. It's like Inception. But I can't do this alone. I got two of my favorite guys here. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up, Gigi? How are you?
I'm good.
Hey, what's up, Gigi? How you doing today?
Hey, Josh. So, yes, before we start getting into the meat and potatoes of this whole interview, what are your guys' overall opening thoughts on what Punk said on this podcast?
Go ahead.
I liked it. There are some parts I felt that he was bitching. I felt like, why are you whiny? Like, why? That's so petty. And then there are some parts like I was really laughing my ass off. Like, I can't believe he just said that. But it was definitely entertaining. And I felt that it was just, I felt like I was, listening to a person that was real, not like the character, because, he was just talking about his experiences. He was cussing. I felt like I was hearing the real person let us know the story on what happened on the last several years. So overall, it was pretty good. I liked it.
I felt
like so many F-bombs.
I felt like CM Punk led us backstage. You know what I mean? Like, we really got to see what really went on backstage. And I thought it was intriguing. I didn't think he was bitching. I think he was venting. Because he's been holding this up for so long. And then he finally has a platform after his case and everything. So, I don't know. I was interested. I loved it. It was really good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite podcasts that Cabana has done so far. It was really good, and like you said, I think he was just really venting. Some of it did come off like, okay, you said you didn't want to sound bitter, but he did say like, oh, you can be bitter about anything. So I can see where he's coming from with that. But the first topic that we have that he brought up is Vince McMahon. He didn't let him do any sponsorships when he finally re-signed back in the Money in the Bank time. He got all these supposed sponsorships, but Vince wouldn't let him do it. And then a few months later, Brock Lesnar comes back and he has his Jimmy John sponsorship and all the stuff like that. And Vince is saying how he won't let Punk go inside a UFC ring with this fighter. And Punk was saying, oh, it could be such good publicity for the company because everyone's going to be talking about me. It's in my hometown. And then Vince told him no to that also. But then ended up Triple H walked Mayweather to the ring for something. And then pretty much Vince was hating on the UFC, saying they're like the murder people in the ring and they're going to let women fight. How barbaric. So what did you guys think about this first thing that Punk brought up?
I thought it was interesting. And I believe him that Vince would do something like that. Because why would Punk sit there and lie? Like, that would have been a good gimmick for him to come out and have sponsorships. Because he's thinking of the future. He's thinking of other ways to generate money and bring more eyes to the company. And that would be somebody wearing, labels of other companies just to put more eyes onto them. And I think it would have been cool because they can do it to I could see Daniel Bryan doing something like that. I could see John Cena doing it because they do it in all other sports. You know what I mean? That's why they generate all that money and they're so popular because they're everywhere. So I think that was a smart idea for CM Punk to do that. When I believe it was a company that reached out to him and asked him to become a sponsor for them, and Vince declined it, and then all of a sudden you turn around, Brock Lesnar shows up and he's doing it. That is fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And for a company to come out and reach you, that means you got something. That means you're special. That means you have it, whatever it is. And I think the WWE definitely dropped the ball on it because I can speak for myself. Being in the military, being around a lot of macho guys and all, we have to do combatives and things like that. People love UFC. Like they love everything about it. They love the from the shorts to the different fighters to all that. And for them not to accept Punk representing those companies and wearing, those UFC shorts and designs and things like that, it's really a shame because I look at UFC and I think of like the future in a way, because you have the WWE, it's been around for so long, and then you have UFC, which came about several years ago. It's like the future, and CM Punk is the type of guy to take it to there because everyone during that time loved CM Punk, and they can't stand, the bigger guys like John Cena. So I definitely feel they dropped the ball on that one. It was a golden opportunity. So.
Yeah, they really did. They could have like split 50-50. The company gets 50 and the wrestler themselves gets 50. I bet they're like kicking themselves for not doing it now because all this budget cuts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Punk wasn't lying when he was saying this. Like, it sounded pretty legit. And I can see Vince being like, "Can you believe it? They're letting women fight. They're giving women time." I could see him like saying some shit like that because he's just so old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Clearly, he's not with the times.
No, but that was like a major thing during the whole thing about Vince not being with the times. And then another major thing was this heat that Punk has with Triple H. And one thing that he brought up was they wanted to put Punk in a movie, and they were talking to him about it. And they said, "Oh, you're going to get weekends off," so Punk didn't have to do house shows. And he was happy about that because he wanted to be bidding himself up. But he didn't. I guess he was saying he didn't want to miss the European tour or something. And so Triple H was telling him, "Oh, it's not during the European tour." He's like, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is." And they got into a little squabble about that. He says, "Okay, I'm going to check and I'll call you back." Punk doesn't get a call back, and Punk finds out that Randy Orton is in now 12 rounds 2, which he was going to be in. And he found out via the internet and not Triple H himself calling. So what did you guys think of this?
Well, first off, let me ask this. Like, what? I never seen 12 rounds. Is that like a...
It's a John Cena movie.
Mm-hmm.
So is it kind of just action, one, that's it? It's just another...
Yeah, the first one, John Cena's in it, and then the second one's Randy Orton, so it's an action movie.
Okay. Well, I've never seen the movie before, but I definitely feel that for Punk to be in movies, I mean, that would have been amazing because he's so good on the mic. And he has a lot of charisma. He has that smart-ass personality. Now, if I could see him in a movie, I could see him in like a, maybe like a buddy cop movie where he plays like a badass hero with always, the best lines, in a movie. Something like that. I don't know if 12 rounds goes into that field. But anyway, that's pretty damn shady, for them to well, I mean, I know he said like, those movies suck. I've never seen them myself, but it's pretty shady for them to not let him have that opportunity. And then again, just, using the same guys like John Cena, Randy Orton. It's like people are tired of seeing these guys. And it's like, it's crazy to me how like they don't listen to the fans. They don't listen to them. And people are telling you, we're tired of seeing John Cena and Randy Orton. We want CM Punk. This is your perfect time to put CM Punk in a movie. And I'm pretty sure, even though it'll go straight to DVD, I'm pretty sure people will buy that DVD because they love CM Punk that much. And they know that if they base it off like his character in the ring and how he talks and his personality, the movie may be pretty good, So, those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I just feel like Triple H was in the wrong. If this is true, and I kind of do believe it's true, that Triple H would do something like that. But I feel like, why would you do that? Like, I feel like I see where CM Punk's frustration was coming from because he wanted to go on the European tour because the European tour is one of their biggest tours. They just wrapped one up. And he was saying that Triple H has been with the company for so long, and he needs to tell him that he doesn't know when the European tour is.
Yeah, that made no sense.
Yeah,
that's fucked. No, he knew it.
He knew it. He knew it.
He knew when the tour is, you know what I'm saying?
But the thing, I feel like CM Punk's frustration was because he, like he said, he was the champ at the time. He's like, why would the champ miss a major tour like that? And I feel like he wanted to be there because his whole goal was to main event the WrestleMania. That's all he wanted to do. So he was going to make every show, anything. And WWE clearly was not invested in him with that because they had plans of him wrestling Taker and not even put him in the main event. But at the time, CM Punk didn't know any of that. So, and then when he even talked about how when he talked to Cole Cabana and he was telling him that they offered him this movie, he thinks he's going to do it because this weekend's off. But until he found out about the European tour, whatever bullshit, Cole's like, don't do it. That's a Cena movie. Why would you do that? And I feel like they are giving him Cena scraps. You know what I mean? It's like Cena probably passed on it. So they were like, oh, let's go to CM Punk and see if Punk will do it. But I'm glad he didn't freaking do it. And I agree with Cole Cabana. But I think that Triple H was just like fucking basically just pissing on his head. And then after, he didn't even call him to let him know that the plans fall through and that we're going to move on with somebody else. They didn't even bother, and he had to find out on the internet. Like, that is some shady shit. Mad shady.
Yep. Yeah, this is another thing I can see Triple H doing. Like, okay, he like hangs out with Punk, like, okay, f him, and then he calls Randy, like, hey, do you want a Mysterio Print tour? And Randy's like, okay, yeah, great, I get to do a movie. But in all honesty, I've watched the movie. Punk, he didn't really miss out on like some golden acting opportunity. He really didn't.
Like Punk did say that Triple H hates him. He's like, I know he doesn't like me. He gives me side eye, and like he rolls his eyes. He doesn't. He just doesn't fuck with him. He's not his cup of tea. So that's blatant, like that he did that shade. He was just like, whatever. I asked you to do this fucking movie. You didn't give me an answer, so fuck you. I'm gonna go with somebody else. That's basically what fucking Triple H did.
Yep. So our next one is, this one was pretty shocking to me, and Punk's claims that he came up with the idea of the Shield, one of the biggest stables in WWE so far, because he said they were trying to think of a stable to put with Punk, and Punk originally said he wanted Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and his friend Chris Hero, but then they said, oh yeah, that's a great idea, but we don't want Chris, we want Roman Reigns. He's like, okay, that's your guys' guy, he can learn from Seth and Dean, cool. And now they don't really mention Punk making it up. If you ask the Shield guys, they say it was like a creative idea, and Punk feels like that's like rude towards him because they took his creative idea and like put the Shield with him to like go with the storyline. They're just like, oh, they may be with Punk. They never really said, oh yeah, these are Punk's guys. Well, so I guess that's on the Punk saying that he's the mastermind behind the Shield.
Well, it's the truth. He was, because I listened to Seth Rollins' interview with Chris Jericho this week, and Rollins did mention that they were supposed to be with CM Punk to start with. They were supposed to be on his security team or some shit like that. So Rollins confirmed that CM Punk did come up with the concept, because that's after they destroyed the what was it, the Straight Edge Society, which I thought was so freaking cool. They had Serena and Gallows. I thought that was such a cool stable, and WWE just let that fall through the cracks. I feel like they were the new modern version of Right to Censor, and I was really excited for them, but WWE just let it go. And then when he came up with the idea with the Shield, they decided to go ahead without Punk and just have I think they attacked Ryback or some shit like that when they debuted.
Yeah,
I don't remember, but
yeah, they were doing that. And let me say this: I didn't like how CM Punk threw shade at Roman Reigns. That wasn't cool to me personally.
Why? What kind of shade did he throw?
He was talking about, oh, that's pretty boy, or whatever it was.
But it's the truth. I feel like it's the truth.
Roman Reigns got skills. He can move in that ring.
Yeah, but at the time,
not just a pretty boy.
Think about it, Josh. At the time, he was brand new. Like he's green. So CM Punk wanted somebody seasoned. He wanted all seasoned people.
It's more than that. You're going on the main roster, okay? So you have to have the look and the presence, But Chris Hero looks like shit. Let's just keep it real. I'm looking at him right now. He looks like shit.
He could have cleaned them up.
He looks like shit. That's Seth Rollins.
Seriously. So I understand where you're coming from as far as, the beginning, but I really didn't appreciate that shade he threw. But Roman Reigns is good at what he does. Unfortunately, he's injured. I hope he comes back and he's better than ever. But I'm glad they made that change because they created magic. Those past 2 years with the Shield, Roman Reigns, Dean, and Seth, they created magic every night, and I'm glad the change was made.
But the thing is, Punk did give them their kudos for what they did. He's like, I'm glad that they went off and they're successful and shit like that. But obviously you're gonna want to do your boy a solid if this is like a lot of wrestlers say that always take care of the guys on your way up because they'll be the same guys that you see on your way down. And it's so true because when WWE chews them up and spits them out, a lot of them go back to the indie scene. And it's the damn truth. So Punk was basically trying to do a solid for one of the guys that helped him get to WWE, and Chris Hero was one of the guys. So I can see why he wanted to pick him over Roman Reigns because he has history with this guy. He knows this guy can work. So why not? I feel like it was a smart idea. And I feel like if Chris Hero was originally a part of the Shield, I feel like we wouldn't budge. I feel like they would be just as successful. I really do because Chris Hero is talented. He's a talented wrestler.
I'm not saying he isn't, but I don't know. I just can't see him as placing Roman Reigns personally.
It's because you guys think he's fucking hot. That's at the end of the fucking day.
Well, not just that. He's a great wrestler,
well, not that, but like when I see the Shield now, like okay, that's the Shield. Now, like I'm imagining like Chris Hero in there. Like no, now they look like some weird rock band or something. Like
yeah,
no, I feel like
it worked. And then
I
Chris Hero looks a
guess.
little too much like, well, he doesn't look like Seth Rollins, but they have that same kind of like grungy mosh pit looking look. So it'd be like a Roman Reigns, like he was like also had like a different look to him from the two other guys.
I don't know. I feel like it could have worked.
No, because it's kind of like, if you take the Shield and you compare him to like Charlie's Angels, and you know how like you had, I know this is kind of old, but if you had like Farrah Fawcett, Jacqueline Smith, and Kate Jackson, they all were different.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like with Destiny's Child, they all were different, and with the Shield, they all had that different look. So I think if you put Chris Hero in there, he looks kind of similar to Seth in a way. So, but I'm talking about looking good for the main roster. I'm not really talking about talent, as far as
I don't know. I still feel like it would look fine because I feel like, but at this time, think about it. When CM Punk was pitching it, he wasn't pitching it for the Shield to be alone. He was pitching them to be with him and his crew. So it would be a whole different thing. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it would have worked. Come on, he took Lou Gallows, who used to be Festus, and he made it work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it, but everybody has their own opinions.
Yeah. And then this next little topic that he brought up was like shocking to me because it made some WWE sound like really shitty. He brought up how he was getting concussions and WWE to make it sound like, oh, we make sure we take care of all our concussions. And Punk says he went to go do like the test in the back and he was like listening to music on his cell phone and they still passed him without doing a real test. And that he wants a union for the wrestlers. And this turned into pretty much him explaining how he needed surgeries and after he gets a surgery, like he said, like he got a knee surgery and they want him back like 2 weeks later when the doctor said like 3 to 4 weeks. And he said, and they pretty much like treat him like, oh no, well, like a John Cena, like, oh, okay, they said 4 to 6 months, you can come back in 2. Cena did it. And he also had an elbow surgery and they made him come back early for that. He got work done on his, like, he got like LASIK eye surgery and they made him get in the ring and people were like digging in his eyes. And he didn't talk to his doctor beforehand about him getting back in the ring. They just like called him and said, oh yeah, Punk, he's doing great. And then the doctor's like, oh, okay, he can get back in the ring. And then they're like, okay. And they sent him in without even Punk actually talking to his doctor about how he feels. So what do you guys think of this?
I feel like this is where he could get AJ Lee in trouble. Because you know how shady he said the business is, how they're quick to punish people for speaking out or something like that. I feel like they're going to punish him through his wife. I feel like, honestly, this is why I feel like AJ is not going to last that long with WWE. And, but he was speaking his truth. That's his truth. And he's saying that this is what happened to him. It's his side of the story. And I saw that out of everything that he's talked about on this podcast, this is the main thing that ignited. This was his pipe bomb out of the whole thing. It's him saying that with the union, saying that WWE doesn't even care about their wrestlers' well-being, and how he had that staph infection on his back, and they basically kept like saying, "Oh, it's nothing, does it hurt? No, it's nothing, it's nothing." And then he was in pain, and then when he finally went to go see AJ Lee's doctor, the doctor informed him that this is a staph infection, it could have killed you and all of that. So him putting all this out on blast, I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is a big deal. And I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't been picked up yet. But I feel like he said it's been so early. I feel like this gonna go national, and Nancy Grace's bitch ass will be right on it.
Mm-hmm.
So they better be careful.
Yeah, I mean, it's really sad that they have doctors that are that negligent. And they don't know what's going on in the bodies of these men and women that go out on the mat every night. The fact that this man could have died because of a staph infection, and the doctor just blew it off. That's crazy. I wouldn't want to be around a doctor like that. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, that's just not right. And I'm glad. I mean, I'd encourage anyone to get a second opinion about something. If you feel that something's on your body is not right, if all of a sudden you woke up one morning and you got a purple knot on your back, just because it doesn't hurt doesn't mean it's not dangerous. So I think it's good that he went to AJ's doctor, because she loves him, she cares about him, she doesn't want the man to die. It's a real sad situation. So
that is tough.
Yeah, this one I was
No, go
this
ahead.
one I was kind of on the fence about if he's like telling the truth, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, it's still like this this surprises me to this day that WWE doesn't like take care of like the wrestlers when it comes to like health insurance or anything. So I can see them being like oh, okay, yeah, you can come back early off of a knee surgery when your main like moveset is doing kicks and stuff, and you drop elbows from the top rope. Yeah, you can come back, and then like giving him like antibiotics that doesn't even work for him, and the whole he wanted to get the well, first he said it was like a fatty deposit. He wanted to get it cut out. And they're like, no, you have to wrestle tonight. Like first I was like, maybe he was like, oh no, I can wrestle on it, but now he's trying to make it look good on him. But I can like more doubt about. I'm like, oh no, he wouldn't probably lie about something like this. I can see WWE really wanting him to be out there wrestling instead of taking care of himself for like the long haul.
I feel like the thing with that is WWE they're in demand of their high talent, like the CM Punks and stuff like that. So like they will rush them to come back to action, like Daniel Bryan and all of that. They want them there like tomorrow when they get injured. And I feel like the other guys who like the lower cards, like I don't know, The Miz, Sheamus, if they get injured, WWE will let them take your time, come back strong, and blah blah blah. But if you're a top guy, I feel like they will rush you and try to take shortcuts to get you back to billing that money. So that's where I can see the truth in what CM Punk is saying, because John Cena will get injured and they will probably be on his ass for him to get back.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the pressure that comes in, and he even said it. He said it. Cena used to do this, so I'm gonna do this. And then he kept saying like, "This is too much. Like, I'm not an animal. Like, this is not a circus. You know what I mean? Like, it's just too much." But Cena had that "don't quit, gotta do it" attitude, which he does. But then again, it's not healthy.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if Cena does this or not, but I mean, if you say that all the time to people who are legitimately hurt, I don't know if he's trying to shame people on the fact that, okay, you know, you're taking 6 weeks off for your surgery, and I came back in 3 weeks, so I'm more tougher than you. You need to suck it up. I don't know if he's trying to, you know, give off that message, or anyone else in the locker room is trying to give off that message of like, you know, get back early, or you're a pussy, or you can tough it out. We're paying you money. We're paying you good money, so get your ass out there, you know. And that's not right, because you can end up really hurting yourself in the long run and end up, you know, for all we know, disabled. So.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, because remember, like, when we were watching Total Divas, like, John was all like, oh, Daniel isn't back yet? He should get that surgery, and he'll be back quicker. Like, you can see him being, like, I can kind of see that, like, everyone thinks, oh, Cena came back in, like, 2 months when they said he's going to need 4 to 6, so we should try to come back that quick if Cena can do that and not be totally hurt, then, yeah, go ahead and do it, but other people, like, you should, like, know your body.
Yeah, if a Super Saiyan can do it, you can do it. That's what I get from it, you know.
Because Cena's like a freaking freak, you know? He's a freak of nature. He's big as hell. He's all about muscles and working out. So I feel like that's why he rushes his recovery, because he's all about fitness. And CM Punk is a smaller guy, and it's going to take him longer to heal. So it is what it is. WWE just puts the pressure on him, and he felt the pressure for a long time. So.
Yeah. And like James said, WWE's going to be feeling pressure soon, because if this gets like any more like headway, they're going to be on WWE's ass, because the media loves to like talk shit about WWE whenever they can. So I hope they cover their asses good with this one.
And that's why I really feel like he put his wife in trouble with that comment.
Yeah.
Because your wife is still employed with the company that you're going against, saying that they don't take care of their wrestlers, but your wife works for them. How is that going to look?
And this is another one that might have AJ in trouble come Monday. He said that he got tired of putting over part-timers and stuff. Like, he had to put over Brock. Brock was gone the next time. He had to put over Undertaker. Undertaker left. He had to put over The Rock. Then The Rock left. And he's like, my stock is dropping. I don't see why you guys are doing this to me. And then Vince is telling him, oh, I'll owe you one. And he's like, pretty much owes him 3. And he hasn't done anything yet. And then he talked about how he wanted to main event WrestleMania so bad, and that they told him when at his WrestleMania 29 match against Undertaker, you shouldn't have main evented. You shouldn't have been the main event. He's like, no shit, I should have been the main event. And then it starts to talk about money and how he started thinking like he didn't get paid as much as the other wrestlers like John Cena and Triple H and Brock Lesnar. And he's talking to him about, he's like, so tell me that he didn't want to get like paid $1 less than any of them, and he got in a fight in Triple H about it, saying like, did you get paid more than me? So what did you guys think of this whole he shouldn't have been in the main event at WrestleMania 29 and him not getting paid as equally as the other guys?
Go ahead.
Who was the main event at WrestleMania 29? It was It was
It
Rock
was
Cena.
Cena Rock too. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on it because I understand his frustration. You know, it's like you wrestle on every television event, at least SmackDown and Raw. You're doing the house shows, and then here comes in the Rock. He beat. Here comes Brock Lesnar. You got to fight him. Here comes Undertaker. You got to fight him. I don't know. It's like I look at it this way. It's kind of like you know that WrestleMania is like the biggest event of the year. So for me, it's like tradition at this point to have those big names. So of course, at least in the last 29 WrestleManias, Undertaker, you know, he was undefeated. Well, I think 29 WrestleManias or 30, I don't know, I can't remember. But anyway, he was undefeated. That's tradition, you know. So whoever's got to fight him, you know, they're going to get beat, or you know, The Rock coming back, or some other big name coming back. I can understand him getting upset on it, and I think that he should have been the main event just to mix things up because you don't want the same repetitious thing over and over again. But for me personally, I think that he should just, you know, hey, CM Punk, this is the schedule. You know this is going to happen every year. So if we put you up against The Undertaker, you know, you're going to lose because people came to see The Undertaker. That's part of the, you know, I think, the WWE tradition, having an undefeated Undertaker, at least at the time. And even though I understand your frustration, I think they should have had a compromise. Not really like, oh, I'm putting over these people, so pay me more. It's like, hey, dude, this is what happens. You know, if you don't like it, that's what, you know, you're not bigger than the actual company. This is in my personal opinion, so.
I don't know. I feel like when it comes with the whole putting over thing, he was upset that he kept basically jobbing for all these part-timers to come back, but yet they're going to let The Rock put over John Cena, and he can't even get that. And he's facing all these part-timers, and they're going to let John Cena main event WrestleManias year after year, and he can't even get one. So, and Vince keeps making him these promises year after year, and I can see his frustration. That's why I got to side with him. That, like, alright, the whole thing with, like, bringing back these part-timer guys, yes, they put in work, and everybody knows them, they're big names, but how do you expect other people to achieve that legendary status like CM Punk is trying? That's why he kept saying they're lowering his status because they keep beating him. He needs to beat somebody as good as The Rock, just like Cena did. Cena beat The Rock, and he got put over. He needs to beat somebody that big so he can be put over as, like, the top guy. Like, right now they're trying to do a Roman Reigns, which Roman Reigns might be the one to beat up Brock. That's why he did say that now they're in spite. After he left, they put Daniel Bryan, they had to bet to Daniel Bryan. Now I feel like they're doing what CM Punk's been bitching about. They're finally giving the fans what they want. And they're going to do that with Roman Reigns. Probably have Brock put him over. I feel like if anything, he was a martyr. Like, he went and did all of this and started all this war with everybody so WWE can get their shit together. Like, honestly, that's how I feel. And I am on CM Punk's side with a lot of the things that he's saying because this is the frustrations we all used to complain about when we used to watch this shit on TV when he was still there. So, I think it's all fucked up, and I feel like WWE did give him the short end of the stick when it came to WrestleMania. They just didn't give a fuck about him, and at the time, he even mentioned that he was selling more merch than John Cena when he was a babyface, and then they wanted to turn him into a heel so he could go into a program with The Rock. So he was going to...
Yeah, but that's one thing I don't understand. If he's selling more merchandise than John Cena as a babyface, then that should be the perfect time to push him and have him beat, you know...
Yeah, but that's the thing. They don't like it. That's his whole problem. That's why his frustration. You don't understand why they wouldn't let him do that. And everything was John Cena. John Cena is the golden boy. John Cena is the golden boy. I really don't think that CM Punk dislikes John Cena. He just dislikes the fate that WWE puts. Yeah, they put so much fate into this one guy when there's other people that are just as talented and their fans are just as infatuated with them. So it's just not fair.
Like Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, now Dolph Ziggler's in that position. But I feel like, you know, the whole thing with Survivor Series, when they had him be the sole survivor, they only did that because Sting was going to come and overshine him. And it's like, really, WWE? You can't really...
That's a good point, James. I'm glad you pointed that out.
But it's the truth.
How you think about it, yeah, that's a good point.
They're going to put him... They're going to give you what you want, but they'll still bury him at the same time and make you forget about it. So it's like, it's fucked up how they do shit like that. And that's what he's talking about.
That's a good point. So, well,
Yeah.
it's a little bit off. Well, not off topic, but like, how would you do it, James? If it was just Dolph Ziggler winning, being the sole survivor, would it be that's it, and you
I
wouldn't
would
have
let
to come
him
out
win.
or
I
something?
would let him win clean. Like take them all out, and if you want to bring Sting in, have Triple H run in and start jumping on Ziggler, take out his frustration, and then Sting could have came out. You know what I mean? And then Ziggler could get all his accolades that he put out Team Authority. You know what I mean? He did it. It was him who did it. And then Sting just came back to help him out because he was getting attacked after a match like that. That's not now they're basing it that Sting took out the Authority. That was all Ziggler's hard work. It's like it's
I would
fucked
love
up.
to see Ziggler highlight WrestleMania for the heavyweight championship. I would love to see that.
I don't think it'll happen, honestly.
I would. Oh my god, that'd be so amazing.
I hope
so.
so.
Much fun to watch. It'd be so much fun to watch, dude. It really would be.
It would be a great match, but WWE.
But that's what the fans want. It's not going to happen, or it's going to happen in a fucked up way. So
Yeah. If it was me, like, Sting wouldn't even be back. I swear the man looks so fucking old. I couldn't, like, when he came back, like, it looks like his hairline was running away from the face paint. I'm like, this isn't, like, NWO, WCW Sting.
His hair has gotten so thin.
I even see why he's, like, back. Literally, it looks like he's just been beat down by life. But speaking of beatdowns, the next thing that we have, Ryback. I swear I died at this part. CM Punk was just like throwing so much shade and just tea all over the damn place. When he starts, WWE, they want him to work with Ryback, and Ryback, he's like, oh, I was gonna help put him over, and I'm not telling him he has to take it. This is like his time, and then they finally get in the ring, and Ryback's like dropping him on the concrete, and then they have Ryback like kicks him in the ribs, and then he's like, okay, either tell me that you're a complete dumbass or you're trying to hurt me on purpose. He's like, I'm a dumbass. And then like he understood, like he said he called him like steroids man or something like that, and he's like, I call it like I see it. I'm like, it does look, Ryback does look like unhealthy to the point where he's on steroids, so I agree with this too. So what did you think of this like Ryback bashing that happened during the interview?
I thought it was hilarious, honestly. But the thing with Ryback is just so fucking sloppy. And CM Punk is not the first person to ever talk against Ryback in the way he is in the ring. He injures people. He's not safe. He works too stiff. For a guy that size, you gotta go easy. And how many CM Punk talked about, like 3 times that he's injured him in a match? That's why when he completely missed the table, CM Punk is like, either you meant to do that on purpose or you're just a fucking dumbass. And Ryback's like, I'm a dumbass. I'm sorry. It's like, yeah, you are a fucking dumbass. You know what I mean? It's like, who does shit like that? Ryback is just a waste of time, and like he's not safe in the ring. And you know who else falls in that category? The Miz. The Miz. Another person was talking about against the Miz. I can't remember who it was, and they were just talking about how the Miz. I think it was Del Rio. I can't remember who it was, but the Miz. They said that they were in a match with the Miz, and when the Miz was supposed to catch them when they were coming off the top rope, Miz would never catch them. He would always like roll out of the way, like he was kind of like scared of the impact coming towards his way. So ever since they said that, I've always watched the Miz in the ring. I want to see it, and I see it all the fucking time. The guys never land safe. He was in a match with the Epico and Primo, whatever their names are now. I can't remember, the Matadors, and he's just letting these guys crash onto the mat, crash on outside the apron. I was like, really? Like, you're not even catching these guys. And the Miz is like, he's just a mess. He's a mess in the ring, and the Ryback falls back right with there. He's just a mess. He's not safe in the ring, so I can see why CM Punk didn't want to work with him. And especially with that ball on the back of that he had on his lower back, working with somebody like that, who's gonna want to do that when you're all beat up, your knees all fucked up, your ribs are all fucked up, your eyes, and then you gotta go wrestle with this guy that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing? Like, no.
Damn. Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, you gotta be safe in that ring because the one, even though we look at some matches and we laugh at the botches and things like that. I mean, but seriously, if you don't do a move right, that can cost somebody their career or their life. So I can definitely see where CM Punk is getting really upset and really frustrated. And it's like, it's one thing to carry somebody and make them look good, but that person also needs to know what they're doing at the same time and know when the time is right to pull this move or the time is right to take this bump. They need to know the right timing, and obviously Ryback doesn't, and you got to be safe in that ring because it's not just your life; it's your partner's life as well. And like CM Punk said earlier, the doctors back there are pretty damn shady. So you got to take it really seriously. So I understand his frustration because you're dealing with somebody who is not safe in the ring. Then if you get hurt, you got shady ass doctors. You got management that are giving you like these shady ass, oh, the European tour is this month. No, it's this month. Like, motherfucker, you know when the European tour is. You've been here since the 90s. Don't fight like that. Are you serious, motherfucker? I would have been just like that. Who you think you gave me Triple H? I know you. Don't even go there. So I don't blame CM Punk at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't want, if Punk, like, he had all right, if all that stuff did happen to him, it's like, Ryback just looks like the most shittiest wrestler to me. Like, it's like him and Jack Swagger, because Jack Swagger, well, he, like, hands out concussions. Like, he gave one to Fandango, Ziggler. Like, him and Ryback look like two dudes you just don't want to get in the ring with, because they're so big and just, like, massive, and then you, like, fight them, and they're all stiff and shit. And you just can see Ryback just doesn't look fucking safe. He doesn't even look like he can count correctly. But apparently he knows how to tweet and delete that shit, but we'll get to that later.
That's Sam's husband.
And here's another thing. Yep. And then oh yeah, I'm like, I was like, Sam, I can't believe your husband injured my other husband. I cannot believe this shit. But I'm sure he'll be like, no, CM Punk's just like a little whiny bitch.
I know, right?
But here's another thing that's probably gonna get AJ in trouble on Monday. I'm so freaking for AJ on Monday. I feel like they're gonna like drop chicken gizzards on her or something. The whole Punk didn't want to face Triple H at WrestleMania 30, and like we said before, they like have legit heat. They don't like each other. Triple H is always giving him like side glances and stuff. And then Punk tells him this when he's like getting ready to leave. He's in Vince's office. He's like, I'm fucking tired. I'm fucking hurt. I fucking don't feel good. This isn't fun for me anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. And then he's like, no offense to you, but I don't need to wrestle you. You need to wrestle me. I was just like, damn.
I know, right? That's the truth.
Because it's fucking true.
That's the truth.
And
tell the truth and shame the devil.
Yep. And then he talks about how Vince was crying. He like gave him a hug goodbye, and then Punk wasn't feeling it. And he just like straight up left, and he shook Triple H's hand, and he left before Raw went on, which I thought that's only part I find a little fucked up. But knowing now all the shit that he went through, I want to say fucking left too before Raw. And he did have good reason, because like when Stone Cold Steve Austin left, they had him like, oh, he's gonna face Brock Lesnar, and it didn't happen. But with Punk, they didn't say he was gonna face anybody on Monday or have like an upcoming pay-per-view spot. They weren't doing anything with him, so he left, which I can't really be mad at. So what do you guys think?
I agree with that statement, because CM Punk at the time was hot. Like he said, he was white hot, and the fact that Triple H did need to wrestle him, you know what I'm saying? Because no one's checking for Triple H at this point. No one's checking for him. By this point, he is the CFO or CBO, whatever the hell you want to call it.
CEO?
Whatever. And the thing about it is, everyone loves Punk because they appreciate his skill, his mic talent,
his honesty.
His honesty. Everyone can relate to him. So Triple H needs CM Punk. CM Punk don't need Triple H at all. No one's checking for Triple H to wrestle. Like, seriously, I know I wasn't. Never was. I mean, as far as when he had the makeover as far as with the suit and all, like, I was kind of like, okay, Triple H, you're the authority, or you're in that boss position now to call the shots and tell people what to do and all other stuff, and that's fine. You can stay up there. I won't lose any sleep. So if you want to be current again, as far as like, oh, I still got it, I can still move and still do this, and I'm still in shape, yeah, you need CM Punk. You need him. You need guys like CM Punk or guys like Daniel Bryan or guys like Dolph Ziggler. It wouldn't be cool, or it would be pretty boring to see Triple H and John Cena, two big dudes. You're usually used to seeing that again. But if you have someone more dynamic in their moves and more special, and like, a Ziggler or CM Punk, that would make it more interesting. So I definitely believe CM Punk on that. He needed Triple H. So
yeah, for Triple H to say some shit like that when CM Punk is like the hottest guy on the roster was just it was stupid, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back when he said that, because that just was the shade of all shade when he landed that on Triple H. But the thing is, like, they were saying you've had the year before prior at WrestleMania you had the match of the night. You should have been the main event. Oh, this that was the main event match. CM Punk's like, well, if it wasn't the main event, you guys better fucking pay me like I was in the main event. Same shit. The year after, they're talking about now he's gonna go have a match with Triple H when he should be in the main event. He said that he didn't even care if he was in the main event for 3 seconds. That he could go in, drop the belt to The Rock, and have it like a three-way elimination. Just have him drop the belt to The Rock just to say that he main evented WrestleMania. But they wouldn't allow that. And he's like, well, what else do I have to do? I had the match that you guys said should have been the main event. But this year, you guys are going to tell me that you can't put me in the main event and I got to wrestle you? I don't have to wrestle you. You got to wrestle me. And I was like, exactly. Like, you put him in his place. And then he was like, you know what? Like, he's over the frustration. He's over the bullshit. They're going to want him to... They just want to keep pouring water on him when he's red hot. So he just gave his goodbye and he walked the fuck out. And then they want to call him and be on his dick like 2 weeks later. So when you coming back, he's like, fuck you. I'm not coming back. Like, I'm over it. I'm over it. Like, you guys are not going to give me what I want. And he said that he's happier now that he's out of the WWE. So, like... kudos to him. He stood up, and I really, when this all went down, I thought he was going to come back. And then when he talked about Batista, how they're going to put Batista, he's saying that everybody thinks that he hates Batista. He said him and Batista are great friends. He respects Batista, all this bullshit. But he's saying that Batista did not belong in the main event, point blank and period. The fans don't want him in the main event at all. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to have him come in and win the Rumble and all this bullshit. And then they're going to...
Oh, I was so mad when that shit happened.
Yeah, like, that's when CM Punk was over it. It was when they had that shit show pay-per-view that they even booed Rey Mysterio, for God's sake. People were just so sick of it. So I feel like CM Punk truly did change the landscape of the WWE, because now they're shifting a whole new way. Divas got storylines now and shit like that.
Story modes.
They went that deep. So I give it to CM Punk. I don't care. Call me a CM Punk kiss ass. It is what it is. He's the guy that did all of this.
I agree. It's like, you're waking people up. Like, hey, this doesn't work. You've been doing this for years. Try this out because it's different. And it's what the fans have been talking about for years, and how they're sick of seeing, the same guy getting pushed. They're sick of the John Cena glass ceiling. They're sick of, okay, you're letting this guy, let me get this guy over when he's only a part-timer. And, people want to see those moments. People want to relive, another Shawn Michaels moment when he won the belt. You know what I'm saying? They want to see that.
Okay, but the thing is that CM Punk was saying about the Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, Triple H, all these guys, and CM Punk, all of them used to talk back. And he was saying that all these guys backstage, they have the same frustration as CM Punk, but CM Punk was vocal. He always said what he had to say. A lot of these guys were scared about their jobs. He's like, at this point, I didn't give a fuck if they fired me. He's like, I don't care. Because he used to tell Vince, if you don't see me being a superstar, a main eventer, anything like that, fire me right now then. Let me go. Because I'm just wasting my fucking time. That's why he
said... And then on top of that, he made his money already. He said, I'm good. I can go get a job at Starbucks. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, I'm good. Funny. So that's why WWE would not fire him. They would not get rid of him at that point. But he was like, no, like, fire me then. That's why he kept fighting them. And that's why everybody else started not liking CM Punk. Oh, he's disruptive. Oh, all he does is run his mouth. No, he speaks the truth. He comes out and he speaks what's on his mind. If you don't see that something's right, he's going to say it. And these other guys won't. The only other guy that I can see doing that does that is Randy Orton. And Ziggler's recently starting to throw his shade too, because he's basically over it when he was throwing the shade about John Cena and all this bullshit. But, like, it's the truth. You got to speak out. And they said if you want something in the WWE, you got to go and take it. That's it. Other than that, you're not going to make it, because all these top guys, they have all this controversy surrounding them with all the bullshit. So CM Punk is a top guy, but he's just one that WWE wouldn't just put the spotlight on. Period. Did we lose Gigi?
Did we?
I think we did.
Oh, no.
Gigi. It says she's still...
Oh, wait, no, my mic was on mute.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, but like you guys... that like people want to see the Shawn Michaels moments. Don't get that if it's like Triple H versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. Like that doesn't even sound like something you want to see because they already did it prior to that and it wasn't really anything like amazing. And I don't like when people say like Triple H, oh he likes to bury talent, blah blah blah. But sometimes it's like, bro, we don't have to see you at every WrestleMania. You had your time. You were killing it like in the 90s and early 2000s. Like there's times to hang up your boots. I get it. You're still in shape. You're doing all these workouts. But sometimes you have to say like, okay, these new guys, we have to give them a chance so they can have their moments and they can be the next Triple H and next Shawn Michaels and stuff like that. Like we won't get that if you're trying to face like Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania because we know like Daniel Bryan being him, it gets over, but still like we need to have other people that can put people over. That's not you.
I agree.
Yeah. It's just too much.
And then yeah, that's like I don't want to like I believe everything that Punk said. The only thing I disagree when he's all like, oh, I had to put over Undertaker. Like, Punk, that's Undertaker. Like, you had a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Don't make it sound like, oh, he has to come and then he leaves. Like, the man is 80. If he doesn't leave, he's going to turn to dust. So.
No, but I can see why. Like, he's had matches with The Undertaker. He just respectfully believed that, like, I should be in the main event. Like, I don't want to wrestle The Undertaker. I've wrestled The Undertaker. I want to be in the main event. I could wrestle Undertaker next year. You know what I mean? Like, why now? This was supposed to be my time this year to do this. This is when I'm hot. This is when they should strike and put me in the main event. I could see that. I don't think he was disrespecting The Undertaker. He was just saying, this is his dream. This is what he wanted. He would prefer to face The Undertaker the year after because he's been promised the main event year after year. And one year they put The Miz in there before him. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
That he had that title run.
Yeah, and then The Miz can't even remember his WrestleMania match because he had a concussion. Because he can't wrestle. He's not a safe performer. It is what it is.
Yep. So next part, which was pretty like kind of shocking and stuff like that, and everyone, this is like one of the big ones where it's like, okay, WB, that is fucked up. So Punk, he leaves and he said he was cleaning up his house and he finds this old royalties check and he wants to get it reissued so he can pay for it. And he also has another check that is current that he should be getting, and they haven't sent him that one and they haven't reissued the other one yet. So some time passes. He's like he's getting like butt dialed by Jane and Mark Carano and like all these like texts and stuff, and he's just like, what the fuck is this? He's calling people, asking, and he said he was asking politely like, oh, can I please get my check, blah blah blah. They're like scared to talk to him. And then his wedding day rolls around and he gets papers saying that he's fired from WWE on his wedding day, which just sounds so fucked up. And so the big thing was like, everyone's like, oh, CM Punk, he quit. They said on national TV, why are you guys chanting for a quitter when really WWE supposedly fired him on his wedding day? And Punk, he's not going to take that. So once he got back from his honeymoon, he hired a lawyer. And then he went he can't get into detailing, but he did get a settlement and it was fair and he got what he needed from WWE. And he got some of his 2K money because he was laughing about how like, oh yeah, how do I even get, nobody fucking promoted me, but yeah, I got thank you for the big check. So what did you guys think of this whole WWE supposedly firing Punk on his wedding day?
I think that's just them being spiteful, trying to cut his head off and put it on the spike, saying, haha, we get the last laugh. It's just how they work. And I feel like he said that he was surprised that they would stoop that low, but I don't know why. For some reason, I'm not surprised that they would do something like that with all the shade that they've done in the past, because they can be shady. So, if anything, I feel like that's disrespectful to AJ Elite. They disrespected one of their talents, and they disrespected one of their former talents for just trying to stand up and voice his own opinion. And I guess it's because he didn't want to come back or some shit when they told him to come back, so that's why they just fired him with all the lawsuit and everything. They were just over it. I could get why they wanted to fire him, but don't go on TV and say that he quit at his hometown in front of his fans, calling him a quitter when he really didn't quit. Like, I think that's so fucked up and childish, honestly, for Triple H and Stephanie to go out there and do that. And then to tease the fans with Paul Heyman and have him come out with CM Punk's music that night. It was just all in distaste, honestly.
Yeah, yep. I agree. It's just it's sad that the company can't be more professional. Like, okay, they could say, well, I'm sorry, things couldn't work out. Here are your checks, and just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? You could avoid a lawsuit, all this drama. But oh no, you want to, hold the man's checks, and he's coming at you polite, saying, "Hey, where's my money at? I worked hard for it. You're not getting it." Then he has to do the lawsuit. Then all the stuff with like him quitting when he didn't actually quit, he was fired. I really think the company. See, this is what irritates me about WWE. You have all this money, all these investors. You're big in life. Wrestlers came and went. There have been so many wrestlers that came that unfortunately they're dead, or they moved to a different company, or they got older, or whatever. You can't just have the high class to be like, okay, here you go, Phil. Here's your money. Well, hopefully again we'll work with you again in the future. If not, oh well. And leave it like that. You just have to be so bitter and so spiteful and so nasty. Like, come on now. Like, seriously, you got all this money, all this prestige, all these investors, all these stockholders, all these people you are working that work for you. You're in this great leadership position. You're a $1 billion empire, and you still want to be petty and vindictive and childish. It's pathetic. It really is. So that's just the way I feel about it. It's just really pathetic. And I'm very shocked they did it, but it's just pathetic. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fucked up. Like, how are you gonna fire him on like his wedding day? I can see them like, okay, we have to send in the papers today so they can get there on that day. Like, I can see them sitting and trying to plot that shit. Like, it just comes up really childish. You guys are trying to be like, oh, we're this professional company. We're in all these different countries. We have this network, but then you're gonna like do childish shit.
I also liked how he brought up the Make-A-Wish thing with John Cena. How he said that everybody makes Make-A-Wishes. Everybody's done just as much as John Cena. And he said it's so funny that they put John Cena. He said Randy Orton's done just as many. He said he's done just as many. The Divas done just as many. So he's like, so how is it that John Cena is the only guy that gets the highlight for that when he's not the only one? And I was like, that is true. Not everybody likes fucking John Cena. Not every kid likes John Cena. A lot of kids loved Kofi Kingston. A lot of kids... They loved Ziggler. They love all these high flyers. Not all of them love fucking John Cena. So I like that he brought that up. Because I was like, that is true.
I agree, and definitely, with what you just said, to see someone like, I don't know, let's say a kid likes, I don't know, Sheamus. To see Sheamus out there doing the Make-A-Wish Foundation, or at least getting credit for it, that would mean a lot to a kid. Or let's say, you have a kid that loves Summer Rae, and to see Summer Rae out there doing that, and to see her get credibility or notoriety for it, that would mean a lot. But it's just like, it's always John Cena. It's always John Cena. John Cena is the whole reason why we exist. John Cena is the whole reason why, we have butterflies and rainbows and everything else that's great in the world. Like, come on now. Like, seriously. And it's a shame, like, the other superstars and divas don't get, recognized for their hard work when it comes to Make-A-Wish Foundation. I know, definitely, I would love to see, because I know, like, in October, they do the whole Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm pretty sure that, I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Layla's, like, the most hardest working diva during that month, because her mother, unfortunately, she died of breast cancer. You guys probably know that.
Yeah, she speaks out a lot for the WWE.
Yeah, but she doesn't get really acknowledged for it. At least I don't see it. I mean, I see her do little promos here and there.
They'll, like, take pictures. Yeah.
But it's not like...
They'll do little promos with her.
Yeah, it's not like they promote her, like, in the way of John Cena. Like, hey, Liz out there representing, let's find a cure. You know what I'm saying?
They had John Cena and
that
Stephanie
McMahon. Something to give to the divas.
Mm-hmm.
No, but listen to what they did. When they have a diva who's affected by something like this, like her mother, something is, the woman that gave her birth into this world passed away. There's a bond there. She's a WWE diva. Why not have her represent this cause? Have her on the commercial. Layla can talk. She could be a good spokeswoman for the WWE when it comes to the breast cancer awareness thing. Have this be her thing. There's no way they will do that. They have to give it to Stephanie, or they would have to give John Cena's all over it, and the motherfucker don't even have tits. And it's like, it's
Yeah,
so
that-
annoying.
yeah.
Well, technically, yeah.
When they could have a woman, when they could have a woman like Layla, who is a woman, she's a WWE diva. I feel like it would be more over to have a woman represent a cause that relates to other women when they could have a strong woman, a strong, beautiful woman in the WWE who's had cancer affect her life and have her be a spokeswoman. They just won't do it because John Cena is their guy. He's their guy. He's the only one. They want us to love this guy so much, and they put him on everything they could get. Like the whole little Foot Locker thing. Like he has a new Foot Locker commercial. I feel that's a perfect fit for John Cena. I was like, that's good. Like I have no qualms for it. Like I'm not a hater. I'm like, yeah, I could see Cena in a commercial for Foot Locker. Yeah, go ahead. His face is known, but for him to do everything, no, it just doesn't make sense. So I feel like they need a.
Yeah, it went from like.
Go ahead, Gigi.
Go on, James.
I was
I
just
was gonna say, like, they went from like John Cena to Hulk Hogan. Like, yeah, those are two guys that just like represent breast cancer. Like, even if they didn't want a female to do it, which they should, like Titus O'Neil, he said his grandmother died from breast cancer.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Right.
God forbid put a black guy on TV that's doing something right with WWE.
Yeah, like have people that are
right?
affected.
Oh my god.
Have people that's been affected by this disease, not just like John Cena. Like the thing is, like if they want to like get their company into like a higher state and making more money and raise their stocks, they have to get more superstars out there and get that notoriety. Make all your superstars a star, not just focused on one. And that's to bring it back to to CM Punk. That's his whole fight. It's like, why does there only gotta be one top big guy? Why can't there be more? Like before, you used to have Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, Mankind, Undertaker. They were all the top guys. All of them. You couldn't really, like, in Stone Cold was just the captain of the ship. Why can't they just do that? And just, no, they only have one. And that's John Cena. Point blank, period. He's the ceiling. It's stupid.
And that's why their ship is always almost near sinking because like they only have Cena.
It's
You
true.
know, when like they have all these other talented guys, but they want to bring back. Let's bring back Sting. Let's get Triple H. Like they had their time. It's over now. Like
Yeah, they bring back all these part-timers, and then they try and... You know how the Attitude Era was so hot? It was their hottest era ever. It's because they had all these major stars. Hell, even they talked about Sable on the Wild Divas or whatever they had on the network. She was a top star. She was.
Exactly.
They were so invested in her. And then they went to Trish Stratus. She was a top star because they invested in her. They don't invest in the divas. They don't invest in anybody else but John Cena now. That's it. They have Ziggler, who people love. They have Daniel Bryan, people love. They have Dean Ambrose, people love. But there's no way they're going to let them go over John Cena. No way. And Bray Wyatt, they buried him. He could have been the second coming of Mankind, and they were just like, nope.
Better than Mankind,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
They're like, nope.
yeah.
Cut him off. It's just a mess.
So were there any other topics that Punk brought up that you guys want to talk about?
I heard a rumor that Punk could be coming out with his own podcast.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. And then now he has like his own little like wrestling place, which is probably gonna piss WWE off
Yeah,
because he was like a top seller. Now he has his own place. Lord.
I think that's cool. I would be curious to listen to his podcast. I think it'd be pretty cool.
I don't know. Well, you know what? One thing kind of irritated me, and I understand his frustration. Don't get me wrong. But he was talking about how, like, he's worth, around $8 million, but he's only getting paid $535,000. Like, I would love to get paid $535,000.
I know, but Josh, when your colleagues that you're given just the amount of the match, when you're carrying people like John Cena in the match, and like you're at risk too of getting injured or breaking your neck and being paralyzed, but John Cena gets paid $2 million after this match, and you're only getting this amount. It's like it's fucked up.
I know, I understand, but like I'm just saying, I would like to have $535,000 in my bank account.
And then
That's all I'm
people,
saying.
like the people on Twitter, pissed me off when they were like, "Oh, he's saying that this is not about money, and then he'll bitch for 2 hours about money." It's like, yeah, at the end of the day, the root of all evil is money. Money is where you get your notoriety. That's where you're leveled at in this business. Whoever's getting paid the most, you're the top guy. So he's saying like, he's in all these matches with all these guys. They're telling him, you should have main evented the WrestleMania. He was like, no, then fuck you. Pay me like I main evented the WrestleMania. Blah, blah, blah. Pay me like I main evented WrestleMania. It's like, like, don't come and try to tell him that you're so great, and then you're gonna steal the money out of his pocket and give it to somebody as bland as John Cena and fill up his pockets when all he does is 5 singular moves every fucking night. It's just ridiculous. That's all it is. Like, I feel like he should have been paid the money that he
Well,
deserved.
John Cena did that Hurricane one time, so he
Ooh.
got 6 moves.
Ooh, well, there you go. he's so creative. he's just the best wrestler ever.
Do you see his drop kick? Do you see how like straight that is? How good it looks?
Oh my god, that drop
7.
kick. That drop kick was a hot ass mess. I swear Rosa Mendes can throw a better drop kick. Like, that was crazy.
Oh, let's not go there. Cena's the only drop kick that I see that bends in the middle, but yeah.
And the other thing with Punk, I kind of caught a shade towards Chris Jericho. I don't know.
Oh yeah, he did.
He did kind of shade Jericho when he was saying that, because I guess Jericho was probably one of the people that reached out to interview him, and he was just like, no, I'm not gonna go there when, because Jericho is a company guy. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Yeah.
that shade. I can't remember what he said. He said something like he's not gonna go.
Nah, he was all like, he said, I'm not about to do a show of somebody who's just gonna make money off of it and then edit it to make it seem like I'm the most like hateful guy.
Yeah. And he was saying that he's just going to go to somebody who's his friend, which is, Cole Cabana is like his best friend. So I feel like it was the perfect place to do his interview with, to speak out to all wrestling fans, instead of going to like a WWE guy like Chris Jericho or Stone Cold or JR. So, well, I can see him going to JR because JR is no longer with the WWE.
Yeah.
So I can see him doing an interview with JR. But all I can say is I'm interested in hearing part 2 next week. That's what I want to hear. All the
Did you
questions.
guys send any questions?
I didn't send in any questions because I feel like they'll never answer my
I
fucking
did.
questions. Really? I hope they. What's your question?
Yeah, I asked about AJ. I was all like, were you afraid that if you when you leave that the frustrations are gonna be taken out on AJ? Because I feel like that's a legit question. Because I'm like, he Alicia doubt about that. Like, okay, if I do, I need to like not be like a total dick when I leave because then they could fuck with AJ. So I wonder if that ever ran through his mind.
I hope they answer that question, Gigi. That's a good question. And that is the question I would probably... That's the question I want to know.
Yeah. And then he also brought up the network, which I thought was funny, because he was wondering, like, how are we going to get paid when pay-per-views were $60 and now they're $10? I'm like, I'm sure the rest of the locker room is sitting there, like, scratching their asses trying to figure that out, too, still
yeah,
right
but
now.
they won't ask. They won't ask. That's what he was saying. Like, they don't speak out. They're all like, keep your mouth shut or else they'll bury you. And then he's like, no, I'm going to ask. Why isn't anybody else asking these questions? Aren't these... And Vince was like, oh, yeah, we still haven't figured it out. We're going to figure it out. And he's like, wouldn't you figure this out before you even thought about the idea of bringing this on us? And it's like, that's the truth, though. Like, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a lot of shade that WWE brushing under the rug, and CM Punk flipped that rug right up. Like, honestly, like, all the shit's hit the fan this time. So, they said WWE put out a statement, didn't they, Gigi?
Yep, let me see. Well, we have Ryback's statement, which is some complete bull, but...
What did he say?
Let's see. They said... Ryback, first he tweets a picture, and he's all like, oh, happy Thanksgiving, haha, or something like that, and it's a picture of all these Ryback action figures, and then we have a CM Punk action figure broken through a table, and then another little Ryback action figure standing on top of him. And then after that, he decides he's going to put out a statement. And mind you, he spelled everything right, but the punctuation and grammar, terrible. And he went to school here in Las Vegas, so that totally scares me. But he says, for the record, if I quit for being fragile and insecure, I would make up excuses too.
Oh, damn.
This is pretty much calling Punk fragile and insecure.
Damn.
Things didn't go my way for a long time, and I kept going day in and day out. Slander is a powerful thing, and to state complete made-up nonsense for no reason shows his insecurities. I will continue to bust my ass, study matches every chance I get, cut promos, when driving, push myself for hours on end, even when I'm hurt. Thank you. So that was how he apparently felt.
Because he got dragged by CM Punk. Right back your garbage. Moving on.
Yep, and then speaking of company guys, we also had the Road Dogg playing a good little puppy to WWE, and all these people are tweeting, and he starts tweeting back to them saying, it's only one side of the story. Oh, do you understand that he probably won't give complete facts. It's his opinion. And then he's like saying how WWE does care and he wasn't mistreated. He's pretty much like, these aren't even fans like tweeting at him. He just like probably went to like a CM Punk's timeline and was like, okay, let me reply back to make this company that I work for look good. So he's playing a good little puppy to Triple H.
Yeah, like obviously WWE took care of you when you were injured because you were not a top guy. They didn't rush you to come back, you idiot. So you can't come in and try to talk about how they treated you compared to how they would treat somebody at a CM Punk level, you fucking retard. I hope he hears this. Like, shut up. Like, I'm sorry, Road Dogg. Girl, bye.
Yeah, it was just like, the thing that got me was like, he like went out of his way to go find these tweets. I'm like, old man, like, okay, I know that WWE, like, probably Punk didn't say 100% true, but I'm sure like about 99.9% of it is true, because I can see this shit happening. Because we know at the end of the day, they're a shady-ass company.
Right.
But the shady-ass company, you know, they had to put out a statement. It's one of those, like, ones where they don't cover everything. But the main thing and the whole CM Punk talking about was that none of the physicians really took care of him. And the one that he was talking about was physician Chris Amon. I'm not sure how you say his last name, but he's like the red-headed one. We see him on Total Divas. He was a part of he was a part of Jericho. He was on Jericho's podcast with Dolph Ziggler. And I thought I liked him. He was on the podcast. He was funny, but now he's supposedly the one that was telling Punk about the staph infection, saying, "Oh no, it's just a fatty deposit. You'll be fine." And he and WWE they put out a statement saying, "We takes the health takes this has been fucking up. We takes the health and wellness of its talent very seriously and has a comprehensive talent wellness program that is led by one of the most well-respected physicians in the country, Dr. Joseph Maroon." But they're not bringing up Chris Amon, and then people start looking into him, and somehow he got kicked out of Chicago, and WWE picked him up. It's sketchy. People are saying that he left his practice in Chicago. Other people are saying he got kicked out, but if he got kicked out, he probably couldn't practice anymore. So I guess there's going to be more on that story.
Well, we takes, that should tell you something right there. We be doing good at the WWE. We do's goods.
Well, CM Punk didn't say like the guy's like terrible at his job. CM Punk just said that he's lazy. He's like, because Colt was like, why didn't he help you out? Like, what was it? Was he telling you? CM Punk said, no, he's just lazy. He's like, he was just lazy. He didn't want to do it. It's just a guy comfortable on his job. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, he's comfortable. He knows that, you know, I'm here, whatever. Like, oh, you got a bump on your
just
back.
get a check.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. Yeah, he's like, he's sitting there chilling with Rosa Mendes collecting a check. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. It does. It sounds just like that. You know, he's probably getting real complacent at his job. He's probably telling the guys, you know, hey, take this antibiotic, take this aspirin. I remember when I was in basic training, and every time someone got hurt, their answer was, you know, drink water. That's it, drink water. You know, say, you're all right. You twisted your ankle, big deal, drink water. Go ahead, soldier, keep on pushing.
Yeah, they all want they all want this tough mentality, like, oh, tough it out, you'll be all right, oh, tough it out.
Throw some dirt on it.
Yeah, like, CM Punk is like, no. He's like, no, motherfucker, my back fucking hurts. That's how he is.
Spit on it, you be all right.
You know, like, CM Punk was just not putting up with the bullshit. He's like, my back fucking hurts. And then when he said that he came backstage when he was finally over, he's like, get this fucking thing off my fucking back. He's like, I don't give a fuck. You're gonna cut it out right the fuck now. And he made the doctor get rid of it. And then when AJ told him to go see his other doctor, that's when the other doctor told him, how long did you have this for? He's like, I had it for 3 months. He's like, you wrestled for 3 months with a staph infection on your back? Are you kidding me? And what did the doctor tell him? It was just fat tissues clobbering up.
Yeah, fat.
Yeah, he was like, no. Like, what the fuck? So, like, I can't wait to see what else comes out of this. I feel like this is not done at all. I feel like it's just the beginning. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with your girl, Gigi.
I'm afraid. And I feel like WWE, remember like when Linda, she started running for like Senate or whatever, and they did the whole campaign like, stand up for WWE. I feel like they're going to do that shit again to clean shit up. They're going to be like, look how great we are. See, we help the children and everything. I feel like they're about to go on a campaign under like, oh, we need to make ourselves look good campaign.
I know you're gonna see a fucking Make-A-Wish of John Cena's bullshit and how they're gonna do something with the trainers down at the performance center, how they take care of the wrestlers and they're all for the wrestlers, and then they'll finish the program and then fucking Michael Cole will come in. Thank you to our physicians for always taking care of our superstars, and watch any money that's what's gonna come up.
Yeah,
we called it on the Pipebomb Podcast. Watch. I can see it happening.
And then they probably won't even. I can see them. I think something's gonna happen to AJ where it's gonna be low key or sly, or there's gonna be a dick at CM Punk at some point in the show.
I don't know. I don't think she would do it though. I don't think she would go at her husband on the show. I feel like she would no parts. Like she would literally walk out if they ever meet or do something like that. Because she seems like she's not here for the bullshit. As long as they don't attack her husband on TV, I think she's good with it.
Yeah, I can see Vince doing like grabbing Nikki, like say that she's gonna quit just like her husband, and then her saying it on live TV and AJ just going off. I can see them doing some
surprise it on her. Oh yeah.
But I think that's when AJ would really cut a good promo on their ass.
Oh god.
She would
cut. It would hurt so bad.
She would cut Nikki Bella apart for saying that, and then she'll probably even go in on the company. She knows she's good with her words. She'll find a way. She's quick. She'll get them together quick.
So let's just see how this plays out for the rest of the week. The McMahons probably just got off their like Thanksgiving dinner, and they're just like totally shitting bricks right now. So any last thoughts on this whole CM Punk like dropping? I know he said he doesn't like to use pipe bomb anymore, but fuck it, this was like a fucking like just like
atomic bomb
nuke. It was fucking terrible.
Nuke. Oh my god. Seriously.
So any last thoughts, you guys?
I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to hear for more. I want to hear more about, things like, small things from, different feuds he had, like feuds with, Jeff Hardy, feuds he had with Chris Jericho. I'd like to hear something about that. I really would like to hear what he thinks about the women as far as divas. I'd like to hear his opinion about, because he was a top guy. He married AJ. I'd like to know his opinion about top guys marrying divas or being with divas for a long time. I'd like to hear his opinion about that. So,
James, any last thoughts?
I just can't wait to hear part 2 with all the questions. I hope he answers your question, Gigi, because I feel like that's a great question. And a lot of the things that he said where I choose to believe, and everything makes sense to me because it's the same things I was thinking when he was on the active roster. And don't forget, back when he was wrestling, WWE was shitting towards him, so don't jump on the he's being bitter bandwagon when we all seen it air on TV. Don't forget. Don't be so stupid and let WWE blind you, because it's the truth. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, but I think Punk was being pretty much truthful in this interview. Sometimes it did come off a little bit like extra bitter, but seeing the shit that they did, if all this did happen, he did deserve to like just air his dirty laundry like this. So guys, comment down below, what do you think of this whole CM Punk situation? Are you fearing for AJ like I am? Are you ready to see WWE go on a cleanup campaign? Guys, plug yourselves.
If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter. My handler is @JoshTechSoldier.
And if you want to follow me, you can follow me @JimmyJames, JAYMES.
And you can follow me @__the diva. I hope you guys have a good week, and we'll catch you on the next Pipebomb Podcast. Bye, guys.
Bye, toodles.
Bye.